Yo, Fast and Shift. Today, we're gonna just talk about what is intermittent fasting. All right, so intermittent fasting is basically you set up a time of when you're gonna stop eating. All right, for example, if you're having dinner at 9 o'clock at night, so that'll be your last meal. So normally on a regular basis, you would eat in the morning, say 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. But instead, what you will do is, so if you stop at 8 and you wake up at 8, that's 12 hours. So what you want to do now is actually push your feeding time, your eating time, or your breakfast to about, say, 11 or 12. So instead of eating breakfast at 8, you eat at 12. So that's 16 hours of fasting. And the best thing about it is you're actually sleeping most of those hours. So you're sleeping at least 12 of those hours. So it's pretty simple. It's not cutting calories. It's not, going low carb. It's not complicated. It's flexible. You can change it around any way you want it to suit your needs. If you're a breakfast person, morning person, then you shift it to your morning and you'll eat in the morning. If you're a night person, maybe you'll fast at a different time and you eat at night. So there's no really strict way of doing intermittent fasting, but this is the bare minimum. And the reason why you want to do intermittent fasting is because in a day in the life where we live today, we're constantly eating. And when you're constantly eating, you're constantly spiking your insulin. And when you're spiking your insulin, you're never giving your body a chance to rest. So you're actually gaining weight, because if you're spiking your insulin throughout the whole day, that hormone is going to keep going to fat, and when it goes to fat, it's just going to keep, your waistline getting bigger, your thighs. So you want to give your body a rest. And once you can lower that insulin, say within that 16 hours, now you're giving your body the opportunity to start using your own fat for energy. So we will get into that. So what I mean by that in a nutshell is your body would turn into this thing called ketones, and it'll start to use your own fat for energy once your insulin is low. So that's why the very basic you want to do is intermittent fasting. 16-8 is the most popular one. There are many other ones which we will get into. So after today, just start easy. Have your last meal at night, and then the next day, don't eat until the morning. So most of the times is, instead of like the normal weight loss or diet thing, you have to count your calories, you lower your carbs. But when you have a controlled feeding window, now you just don't eat like any other time. Now you're eating within the concise fasting feeding window, we call it. So say like now you fasted for 16 hours. So that 8 hours, maybe your first meal will be a nice healthy meal. You don't really have to count the calories, just knowing that, it's not like fried food, McDonald's, Burger King, all this stuff. Have your nice decent meal, have a snack in between, maybe a fruit or something, and maybe have another smaller meal, and then you close your window. So now you're actually controlling, because before, me personally, when I used to go to the office, I would have breakfast in the morning, then I would go to work, I have a coffee, and then we have lunch. I have lunch, then come back, 2 o'clock, we have tea time. And then after that, at the tea time, I go home, I have dinner. And after dinner, you can't have a dinner without a snack. So maybe I have a scoop of ice cream or some cookies, and then call it a day. And in most cases, like a Friday night, Saturday night, I'm gonna end up sneaking into the kitchen and having another meal. So think about it, that whole day, I never gave my body any rest. I kept spiking the insulin. And when you have too much of that insulin, it just goes to store fat. And that's where you actually get the visceral fat around your chest. And for most guys, now it's actually become very normal to see people walk around like they're pregnant. And I was one of those guys. And I'm not talking bad about anybody else, because I'm talking about myself first. And at some point you have to take a stand, because when your insulin is high and you're going to work out, you're running, I see a lot of people, they go work out and right away after that they go have breakfast. What is that for? I mean, because at the start you're only burning your your insulin, your sugars, your carbs, so you never really get to the fat. And then you go and eat again, so you definitely ain't getting to the fat cells. So, hold on, wait. So that's why when it comes to the basic, throughout this whole channel, don't even get worried about all the longer fasts, you know, the 24-hour fast or the OMAD diet, the alternate day fasting, the extended fast. The key thing you want to really master is the 16-8. Because when I first started doing the 16-8, I did the 16-8 for at least a year, 2 years, and I felt the improvement. And so, and later we'll also get into that, because it's not so much about the fasting, it's also about the mindset. It's not also about the weight loss, because just imagine once you hear all the benefits that you get from just fasting and giving your body a rest, because our body is one of the most smartest mechanisms or bodies or humans on this earth. It repairs itself. It's smart, so it knows what to do when it's not getting food. All right, so we're gonna just keep it at that 16-8. If you have any questions, or are you doing the 16-8, leave it in the comments and let us know what are you eating when you break your fast. How long you been doing the 16-8? You know, we can have that conversation. So it's not just for me. Maybe somebody else is watching this video and they go into the comments, and your story or your way you do it might really really might give this person that's watching the video, you know, other insights or other processes or procedures how y'all do your 16-8 fast. All right, because this is the basic one that we all need to do, is a 16-8, because it's the easiest. You sleep most of the time, and it gives your life some structure, or your eating structure. You're not just eating any time. Now you know you're eating at a certain period of time. And one thing also, one caveat is, in that 8-hour window, it's not a full-on buffet. That's what I used to do. I was like, hey, I didn't eat for 16 hours, so I'm just gonna go eat whatever I want. I've done that. It kind of works, it don't work. And sometimes I used to promote, hey, I had a whole pizza and I still didn't lose I didn't gain any weight. But that's not the right way to go about it. If I had that mindset now, it probably wouldn't work, because it just wouldn't work. Trust me, I've been down that route. So, you know, try to have a healthy meal, a protein shake, you know, low carb or whatever. Just make sure it's reasonable, and you'll start to see some results. And then slowly, as your body builds up, you can go into the bigger fast. And so, yep, that's it for right now. 16-8, and that's why I do it every single day, no matter what. If I don't do any longer fast, I do a 16-8. I make sure I'm keeping my. Let me see where we're at right now. Let me go ahead and give you an idea. All right, I use a website, an app called Zero. So right now we're at 13 hours. So I'm up walking already, but I didn't eat anything. And one of the things that you can have, just like the FAQ section of this video, is you can have black coffee, water, and green tea, no sugar. All right, so these are the things you can't have when you're doing your fasting. So just make sure you're having no calories. That's the whole point of this thing, because once you put calories into your system, then you're back to square one. You're burning your glucose, so you're burning your insulin, but you're not burning the fat. All right, so, and that was actually the things that actually break your fast. When you put calories, coffee with milk, coffee with sugar, tea with sugar, all these things will break your fast. All right, so any questions, leave them in the comments. All right, today's video is about the 16-8. Like, subscribe, and leave your comments.